I just bought the Just for Men's because I used to do like my own little at home dyeing,
Okay,
and
yeah.
now that I'm getting white hairs in my eyebrows,
Oh my God.
I have a lot of white hairs in my like crease of my eyebrows, and I'm always like,
I'm lucky
what
because
the fuck?
I'm blonde. So even if I do have like some white hairs in there, which I don't think I do, but
Yeah,
they'd be so
wouldn't even
faint
notice.
that you wouldn't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like give it 3 weeks and my brows look like they don't even exist unless
Oh
I put brow
Jesus.
gel on. So it's that.
Aw. You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh, yeah, every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
Grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down.
welcome back to I Just Sat Down. They say you don't really know your parents until you become one. And suddenly, those childhood memories we tried to bury are resurfacing in a way we parent and partner today. From the teenage mistakes we hope our kids never repeat to the aha moments that shape who we are as mothers and spouses, we are digging into it all. How do we keep the best of our past while breaking the cycles we're trying to avoid? Join us as we look back at the stories that brought us here and the tiny versions of ourselves who are now watching our every move. So,
I love this. I think, oh, sorry, I'm going to just jump right in
okay.
because I feel like I was talking about this yesterday to my brow girl. We were chatting about how, like, it's so crazy that these teenagers are growing up in the world that they're growing up in. And like a lot of the mistakes that we made, like, and I know this is like a popular trend even on like Instagram and stuff that like we just our parents my parents didn't know where I was some of the time. And like there was no proof if they were like, you were here. It was like, no, I was literally at Haley's doing what like I was just
yeah.
there when really I was in a field, whatever, doing whatever. And I just think that it's so crazy thinking about how like yes, like how do we break those cycles because now it's just so different. Like we can literally keep tabs on our kids with whatever. Like she was saying about how like her son was begging and begging for Snapchat and she's like I finally gave in because he was driving me crazy, but with the promise that I'm going to read it every single day.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to be in there. It's
You have
my
to.
like it's my actual account.
Mm-hmm.
But you can put your name on it. And then she's like, and about a month in, he was just like, yeah, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the girls just talk in the chat and I don't care. So they ended up like making a little chat with the boys, but it was something that they wanted so badly.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't want you to have this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just it's such a different world. I feel like in some points our parents had it a lot easier because what you don't know doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, I think like my biggest problem is that like I struggle because I overthink a lot of shit. Like as a Libra, I overthink majority of every being in my childhood to my teenage years to my adolescence, whatever. And I was thinking about it the other night, and I'm like, it's crazy to me. Like my mom would never know things about me. Like my mom doesn't not shade towards my mother because she is who she is, and I love her, but she wouldn't know like my favorite color or who was my favorite music group growing up or like there's just so many things about me as I was growing up that my parents have no idea about, and I take such a strong interest in everything that my kids do that like you love Cat's Eye, I love Cat's Eye, we're listening to it in the car every day now. Like what movies are your favorite movies right now, what actors do you have a crush on? Like I want to know these things, and not because I'm trying to be their best friend, but because I genuinely want to know what the fuck my kids are doing, what they're
Right.
into, what they're watching, what they're absorbing into their brain. And like, okay, Cat's Eye is probably not the best for my kids because a lot of their shit is very sexualized, but so was the shit that we were listening to. And if
Yeah.
I can have those conversations with my kids to say, like, just so you know, they're talking about a penis in the song. I need you to understand that that's
Right.
what they're talking about. So when you're singing it out loud, people know that that's what you're talking about. Please don't sing this out loud.
I mean, I feel like we were singing my neck, my
Oh, yeah.
back. And
Oh,
like
God. Yeah.
I mean, we knew obviously what it was about, but at the same time, like, I remember my cousin, this is a good childhood memory. My cousin, my cousin is from a divorced family. So she would go to her, like, her dad's, and I feel like there was less rules there. Definitely less rules than there were in my house. That is a for sure. Um, no shade to him. He's just a little laxy daisy. Anyways, she brought back a cassette. A cassette, you guys. Okay. Aging myself here. She brought back a cassette and it was Salt and Pepper.
Oh, God.
And we were in the back room at my nan's house. So this isn't even at like my mom and dad's house. It was at my nanny's house. And we're in the back room and we're just rocking out to Don't Want No, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Rocking out to that. And I don't know if it was like, I wouldn't even say that it was, because I'm pretty sure it says Short Dick Man in it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's Salt and Pepper, but there's like What a Man, What a Man.
Oh, is it not?
No, but that is
also,
it could have been like like a mix tape of some sort because
yeah, like I feel like it was a song that didn't actually say the word, but it was still wildly inappropriate, but we didn't really like, I know like she was a little bit older than me, so maybe she kind of knew what the song was about, but like her big sister had showed it to her. It was like the cool thing, right? And we're in the back just rocking out to this song. And like I remember my mom coming in and being like, absolutely fucking not. And like took it away from us. And like thank goodness it wasn't my nan who came into the back at that time, but because she would have lost her mind. But it's just, I don't know. It's just so funny to, just the things that we did, right? And there are a lot of things that even now, like my mom will be like, you did what? Like, I'm sorry. Like, we'll be like, shooting the shit with my brother and stuff. And like, we'll bring something up and we're talking about, oh yeah, we did this and blah, blah, blah. My mom's like, pardon? And I'm like, how do you not know this? Like, how are you so naive? And like, obviously, what were you doing? Obviously she's not naive to a lot of the stuff, but I think when you're hearing it for the first time, you're like, okay, I didn't realize that that's what we were doing every weekend or every day. And like, I have to say, like, my mom was one of those parents that always said, like, if you're ever in trouble, like, it doesn't really matter. Call me and I'll come and get you, kind of no questions asked kind of thing. And I really only had to do that like once. I remember my cousin had to do that once. And she really did come, no questions asked. So yeah, I don't know. I think being naive to a lot of it, or not even naive to a lot of it, but just like not knowing, I don't know that helped our relationship or just made it more of that mother-daughter relationship. Do you know what I mean?
And you're also the first. You're also the firstborn and the firstborn daughter. So there's like a very different dynamic. Like I'm the last born, so I'm the youngest in my family and was not allowed to do shit. And then I'm the only daughter, but me and my mom have like that it's a tough relationship. Like sometimes I feel like I'm her mother, sometimes my daughter's my mother. Like I'm still healing a lot of my shit too, so I'm dealing with all that. But I feel like my mom didn't know, and she would never have said, don't ask, don't tell policy. Don't just call me if you need me. Like I didn't even call. One of my friends had to call because I was blackout puking everywhere and I was grounded for 2 months. Like I was in so much trouble. It opened up a lot of like doors that I needed a lot of inner healing done because of the alcoholism that I was suffering through.
Right.
But I was literally grounded for 2 months. I was like locked in my room. It was like, we were grounded as kids. That was like a thing. My kids don't get
I was grounded all the time.
Yeah, they just lose their shit. But yeah, like
To be fair, my mom grounded me and I would just bug her so much that she'd just be like, I don't care what you do, just get out of my face. Like I would bug her to like go to my cousin lived down the road and I'd be like, let me just go to Kayla's, like, and she would just be like, fine, I don't care. Just as long as you're not in here talking to me,
yeah.
great.
Yeah. And I mean, we did a lot of shit. So I think the fact that we like, are we millennials? We did so much shit back then that like our kids, it's not that they're not going to get away with stuff. I think that we're going to learn the balance of letting them do stuff. But like, hey, just make sure you have your phone on if I need to get a hold of you. Hey, like I have Life 360 on my kids' phones. The second they get a phone, there's no questions. It's just that goes on the phone. They have to be able to be tracked or they can't do the thing. Because
and
I world crazy, but we want to know what our kids are doing and where they're at. So, because the amount of shit that may or may not have happened to us as younger people in dangerous situations. Like I had put myself in so many dangerous situations as a kid, and I remember dating a guy once, and he's like, "Why do you always fucking put yourself in these terrible situations? Like you're so naive." And I was like, "I don't think that I intentionally do it, but I just I was a very naive person. And I think I still have that to some extent, but I always try to work on not being that way. And yeah, every time I reflect on like the things that I put myself into, I'm like, I don't think that I was naive. I think I just was put on a fucking weird path in life and things just kind of happen. And yes, of course I had to learn from that and do better. And then as an adult, have all this anxiety and trauma that I had to like figure out how to not put that on my kids, right? And yeah, I mean, there's a lot more like strict rules in like have a phone. I need to know where you are. Blah blah blah. That like my parents didn't have all that information. It was I'm sleeping over at Sarah's house, and Sarah's mom is on drugs, and she doesn't know that. And then I'm at Sarah's temporarily. Then we're going in grade 7 to parties and doing all this shit that we shouldn't have been doing. And my mom would never like. I'm like the fact that she even let me go there was like huge.
Right. It is a totally different world too. Like,
yeah,
I feel like we have to worry so much more. We know so much more, right? We just know what's going on in the world. Like, to be fair though, like I was a good kid. Like I feel like the dangerous situations that I got myself in were few and far between. And that's like, driving around while we're smoking weed, probably shouldn't have been, or been with people who were smoking weed, maybe shouldn't have been there. Like I don't really, like, I think my mom was lucky in the sense of like, I didn't bring the cops home ever. Like I wasn't, not to say that's like a bad kid, but I wasn't like testing those boundaries at all. Like I think my mom gave me more freedom than some of my friends got. Not in a sense of like, you can go and do whatever you want. It was like, well, I'm going to be at work. So you're going to be at home and you're going to have to make yourself dinner and you're going to have to make yourself lunch. Like that was just how it was. I remember my mom in high school, because I had a really long bus ride to school and an hour and a half bus ride there and an hour and a half ride back. So for an hour and a half after school, she knew where the fuck I was. I was sitting on a bus. Were we causing a ruckus on the bus? Did we switch bus drivers a couple of times? Yeah, we sure did. Because it was just a fucking disaster. But I think, yeah, my mom just kind of knew where I was at. And like, if I fucked around after school and missed the bus, figure it out. Like my mom wasn't coming to get me. She's at work. So I think there was like some freedoms there, but also like some very strict, like, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Like you're going to be stuck.
Consequences.
Like you're going to figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely had actual consequences. And I think just being that firstborn, like I wasn't, trying to be cool like my older siblings. I think that's where a lot of that rebellious stuff comes from. Like my best friend in high school was the youngest of three girls. And she was the one I got probably into the most trouble with because she was just always trying to like, I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say that it's an attention thing, but kind of an attention thing, right? Like, see if your parents notice if you are, not coming home or you're getting drunk or whatever that may
Very
be, right? So,
unintentionally. Yeah, maybe.
unintentionally, but yeah, like just
Yeah.
testing those boundaries. Like we'll see if they notice. Like we were always at her place doing those things, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And I think too, like a lot of parents still worked. Like I think we grew up in a time where it was becoming apparent that both the mother and the father needed to work.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every household was like that. I know a lot of my friends, their moms stayed
My mom
home.
didn't. Yeah, my mom was at home, I'm pretty sure, for the most part. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's more
I
so
just
now. It's more so now that we both have to work. Like back then it was kind of
absolutely. What
still.
I'm saying is just it was
Yeah.
kind of like testing the waters of like, okay, well, like if we have two incomes, then we can do these things.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? Like, I feel
And
like it
also
wasn't a
women.
necessity, but it
Yeah.
was a thing that started to happen more often.
Yeah. And women wanted to work and they had the freedom to make those choices for themselves because of the freedom that it came with and all that stuff.
For sure.
I just
Absolutely.
wanted to like dip back a little bit to like earlier ages. So like for me personally, my parents were divorced when I was like 2.5. So I think that was something that was like so deep in my bones that I always knew that I didn't want because as a child of a split home, I had to go to my dad's every other weekend. Like that was a thing. Well, sorry, I lived with my dad and his family until I was like 9. And then my mom was able to get custody of us. It was a whole thing. It was a very like toxic switch from one family to the other. My dad's household was very mentally like detrimental of my upbringing because of how horrible it was. I barely saw my dad. My stepmom was absolutely horrendous that I couldn't even speak. Like when I think about it now, when I think back to those times, it's like I didn't talk to my dad. I wasn't able to speak to him if she was in the room or near. Like I was terrified to open my mouth. So like I always think now I'm like throat chakra. Like just speak your mind. It's so like this podcast is so
Speak
healing
your
for
truth.
me. Yeah, because I think back and I'm like, how was I not able to like open my mouth and say words because I was so
That's wild.
terrified. And you know, at she was also very like the alcohol was really bad in the home, very abusive. And then whenever my mom came and was getting custody of us, that was something that kind of helped her to get us was because this woman was abusive towards her children. And the conversation to my dad was, listen, if you don't let them go, we're going to charge her with child abuse. So
Right.
he felt like he was like cornered, and he is the reason that I cannot be manipulated in life because he is such a master manipulator. In my opinion, that's how I see him. He has a lot
Right.
of his own childhood hurt, and I get that, and I can see him as that child, but I can't take that in. So that's why I had to completely cut him off at some point in my life. But yeah, it was like he got the letter stating that either we have to make this decision now. And when he found out that they were taking custody of us, he was like holding me and crying, and he's like, is this what you want? Do you really want to go? Because if you want to go, I'm not going to stop you. And I
Because a
was like,
9-year-old can
yeah.
make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, and I was so grateful to go because I had already had run-ins with I've had to like I had to deal with like police and stuff like that because of her. I was afraid
Right.
to go home if I was coming in late or whatever. Like I was just afraid of her. She was just
Right.
this crazy motherfucker that I had seen way too much shit. Yeah, like she would like this is kind of like crazy, but like she would get so fucking drunk. She'd like drove through the garage door. I remember she came down in her robe once and she was like so fucking inebriated that she was like cussing out my dad in front of us and like opened up her robe, and we were exposed to all her shit because she's like, this is what you're missing out on. Like
Oh my God.
it was such
That's like movie shit.
yeah. So it's a no wonder that I'm not on drugs, and I did go through the alcohol thing or whatever, but like
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I think about from like my younger years, and I think like what a weird like bunch of people that I had to be around for so long. And
I'm
then
sorry.
that's okay, thank you. It's like, but it's weird to think that it was such a small amount of time, but when you're younger, it stayed with me until I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, in my mid 20s, I feel like is where I finally started to learn that that doesn't
Hmm.
define me. That doesn't mean
Right.
anything to me, but I'm somebody who doesn't like to yell because there was always screaming in the house. If somebody starts to yell, I just disassociate and I shut down and I'm like, when you want to have a conversation with me, like even friendships, when somebody starts fighting with me, I completely back up and I'm like, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'll conversate, but don't fucking yell at me because
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and defend myself the whole time. And, you know, that was just part of it. And then I moved in with my mom and my stepdad. And it was like, wow, this is like what normal is supposed to be like. Like I was fed more than one meal a day. I was, my mom would take me and buy me clothes when I needed them. I didn't have that bare like that basic needs from the one home. And then I always think about like that dirty little poor girl like when I lived there, because people would like, at school people would be like, do you even brush your hair, do you shower, like, there was
Right.
things about me from back then that I'm like, oh my god. And that's, I feel like when I have my kids now, there's basic things in my brain that I'm like, oh god, like I need to make sure that I'm
Right.
more structured. That's why like I feel like a lot of my structure is not there because I didn't have that. So a lot of the times I'm like, okay, you guys need to make sure that you're showering, this many times a week, make sure that you're washing your head this many times a week, and then being on top of them about it, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like it shouldn't be that difficult, but in the back of my head I'm like, okay, did you do this? Like reminding yourself to structure your children. And then just having that whole like back and forth, having to, even after all the shit that I went through at my dad's, it was like I was finally free living with my mom and my stepdad. But then I still had to go back there every other weekend. I still had to go back
Right.
into this like dark cloud. And I remember
That's such a
sitting,
weird thing about divorce.
yeah, and
Like they take you away, and then the court's like, actually, you still have to go back there every
yeah,
weekend or every other weekend.
yeah. And there was no like big court battle because like he didn't want that because he knew that he would lose her if
Right.
that was the case.
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
no big court battle. There was like an agreement.
Yeah.
Child
Hmm.
support should have been paid. It wasn't. And there's so many times me and Corey, I'm like, man, should I go for back pay? Like, should I go for back pay? Because we didn't get any money. So,
Right.
and I would never do that because I've like cut those ties so clean that
Yeah.
I'm
It's
like, I'm
just,
okay. I'm just free and moving on. Um, but yeah, having to go back into that. And then like even after we were out, we went back and there was like even worse things that had happened that I have talked about like previously on like the triggered by trauma stuff or whatever. And again, like still telling my parents what had happened to me, then still having to go to this place where all these bad things have happened to me, not being believed by my father, having to be like, it's like there was like this tug of everything that was happening at that
yeah.
time. And I look back and I reflect on things and I still have a lot of deep down, a lot of upset because I'm like, I wasn't protected on either side. I was, so that's why, like with my kids now, I'm so if you look at my kid and they tell me that they don't like the way that you fucking looked at them, they will never be
Done.
around you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's on boundaries. And my kids
Yeah.
will always know that mom and dad are protective of them. Mom and dad always have their back. And I just think it's such an important thing. And me and Corey, I think we just both always work on our relationship because of not wanting to have that split family either. I mean, thank God we like each other and we get along really well. But
Amen.
there were times where it was like, when the kids were little, I was like, fuck, if I have to do this where he's got to go, if they have to go there every other weekend. And, he was drinking a little bit more back then. He was like, still into like social partying, whatever, not crazy, but like to the point where I was like, oh my God, that's so nerve wracking. I'd have to bring them there. And then I don't know what they're doing this whole weekend. And, he's a little bit more, adrenaline, like more adventurous, whereas I'm not at all. I'm like, let's hang out and read a book. He's like, let's go ride a dirt bike. So
Yeah.
it's
It would
hard in my book.
absolutely be so hard to
So hard.
split that. I feel like there are people out there who do it really well.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
And kudos to them because I don't know. I don't know if my anger would allow it. I don't know. Like, I just think I would just be
Hurt.
so hurt. Yeah. And I mean, I don't even know what this breakup's about, you know,
but like the hurt
just
of not
feel like no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what, I would just be hurt in the whole situation.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So if you're going through that, I'm really sorry because it's so hard. And now with like, yeah, the court systems and everything like that. And I just feel like that's such a, just such a, I don't know, a brutal thing to have to go through. And also just like putting the kids through it. It stays with you, it stays with you for a really long time. Right. So,
yeah. And look, if Shia LaBeouf can co-parent, then
amen.
Anyone
can. Yeah, that's funny. I love it.
I saw that and I was like, oh, he's a kid. Okay. And he looks like a great dad. And he's co-parenting with, I'm not sure her name, but she's another actress and she's gorgeous and smart. And I'm like, okay, good for them. Because if they can do it.
Yeah, anyone can. Anyone can. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I think, and then having your kids as they're growing up and you're trying to heal yourself and rewrite your own story to do better for them. Because I think, if I just let all of that shit take over my life, and
not work through it.
Yeah. Like I was horrible years before, like people that I knew like pre-COVID would be like, that girl's crazy. She's always like, don't touch that. Be careful. Da-da-da. Like I was always on edge. I was that parent that people would be like, shut the fuck up. They're fine.
Yeah. That's the helicopter parent.
Yeah. And I used to hate when people would be like, oh, like just bubble wrap them. And I'm like, that would make me feel so much better.
Yeah, can I?
Is that possible? But now it's so like having those conversations. My kids are older, so I can have those conversations with them.
Yeah.
They kind of understand, like when my mom comes over for having a conversation that they don't like, that they're not feeling good about, they don't say anything in the moment, but then we have a conversation about it afterwards. And I think it's good because it's kind of like, not conflict resolution, but it's just good to have that open dialogue with them so that they can kind of navigate conversations like that in their own life.
They feel better to ask questions too when you keep that dialogue open.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too. Like I didn't communicate with my mom when I was growing up. My parents didn't have that like, hey, let's sit down and have a talk about it. It was just like, what is your problem? Stop crying. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you acting like that? Are you on drugs? Like, so my mom used to joke like, oh, when your kids are older and they want to run away, like they can come stay with me. And I'm like, I talk to my kids. Like
my kids aren't running away.
I just truly feel like it's interesting to see like the different thought processes of the generation before us. How we're navigating all of those things, because there's sometimes where I'm like, what were my parents doing when I was doing all this stuff? Like my whole day is around what my kids are doing. Like I know they're in school right now. I was with them this morning. When they come home from school, if it's not pouring, maybe we'll go for a walk. Oh, by the way, I hit 8,000 steps the other day and I was very proud of myself.
Amazing. That's amazing. I love that so much.
I got to do that more often because it did feel really good.
It does. It does feel really good. I think I've hit 10,000 steps once this month. What day are we at? The 11th.
Yeah. You got time. We're good.
Yeah.
But it's like taking all the things that we've learned from our parents that we want and what we don't want to do. And that's okay. We're allowed to do it differently. And I think that it's important for the older generation to kind of give us that grace. We're doing this for the first time too. And we're like, we understand that you only did it for the first time also. Like we understand that you were learning through it. So give us that grace as we learn through it. Don't give us a hard time over it. Like
exactly.
And then trying to remember when our kids are getting older to have that grace with them as well. Right.
Yeah. I think things come up too. Like I know for me, like about putting the little guy into like JK is coming up. And I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna live here. Like, I don't know if I want to keep him in the same place. And as I was like going through that, I was like, this is from my childhood
Mm.
because we moved around a lot in those early years from, JK. Well, I don't think we did JK. It was like kindergarten. Maybe it was junior kindergarten. I'm not sure. But, anyways, we moved around like 4 or 5 times, all within the same area, but we moved around a lot. So I switched schools, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and then grade 4, we actually like settled in the place that we stayed at for a long time. But I just remember being like, I'm moving again. I have to switch schools. I remember being the new kid, like,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom did it in probably the best way that she could, was that I only switched schools at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was a new thing with everybody else just starting out, but I was still the new kid. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like when all that was coming up, I was like, this is definitely from my childhood. I don't know about this, but I think, yeah, it's just, you have to realize that like, yeah, there's going to be things that you do similar and things that you want to do differently or end up doing differently because you would never.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's just the way it is, right? But I think you're right in appreciating that, we are doing it for the first time, but they were also doing it for the first time. Even if you are the third kid, the fourth kid, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're still there. Every kid is so different that kids need to be parented differently. Like, I mean, for my mom, she obviously had us 400 years apart. So she was a totally different person when she had my little sister. But, there were things that she didn't have a choice and had to do differently. We didn't have the internet when I was in public school compared to, having to navigate computers and do all that stuff with my little sister. Right. So it's just growing with the times, things change. I think we just know so much more now, which is terrifying. I feel like our parents weren't afraid necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, yes, of course they were, but like they had commercials that were like, do you know where your kids are? Like they were like, do I? Hopefully they're home. I don't know. Yeah, the lights were on. We were probably home at that point. But like, yeah, it's just it's just such a different world, right?
Absolutely. On that note, we're gonna have to wrap it up. But do you want to do some quick rapid fire?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop.
Who was your childhood hero? Who was the first person that you ever wanted to be like?
Ashley Olsen.
Okay.
I wanted to be with JTT, and I wanted to grow up to be an Olsen twin. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I also love JTT. My first was like Shira, because like the old school Shira. Shira,
Okay,
yeah. Earliest memory. What is the very first thing you remember from your life?
Oh my God, I don't even know. What's yours?
A little 3-year-old girl named Kayla was kidnapped in Toronto when I lived there, and I just kept thinking that she lived in my apartment building when she didn't. I was also 3. I was also 3 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what my earliest memory would be. I'd have to really think about that one. There's lots. I do remember a lot of my childhood. I just don't know what the first one was. I could rattle you off 45 memories.
What was one rule you broke the most in high school?
Not cleaning my room. I never cleaned my room ever. My mom was always after me. My room just stayed messy. And then One Tree Hill came and it was like, they said, the messier the car, the prettier the girl. And I just went with that forever. So here we go.
That should be
Love you, Keith. Thanks for saying that. That is a bumper sticker. Absolutely.
Mine was curfew. I was always breaking curfew by 3 minutes and then grounded for 3 months after.
I lived in New Gold, girlfriend. There was nowhere to be. Like, there was nothing to do.
Right.
Actually, you know what? Riding on the back of the dirt bikes. I broke that rule a lot. My mom used to get so pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
No
definitely
doubt.
the rule I broke that she hated the most, for sure.
Oh gosh. Okay, so a little bit of this and that. Safety, be back by dark then, or checking the GPS location now. What is your preference?
Oh my God. Be back by dark. I wish I lived in a place where I could do that with my kids, but I don't think
Yeah.
that'll be a vibe.
I'm all
Come
for the GPS.
inside. Come inside
Yeah.
by dark.
Right. I mean, on the street, like we have a cul-de-sac, so we're like, okay, you guys can play
Yeah.
until it gets dark. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
nowhere else. As long as my cameras can see you, we're cool. Sleep in on Saturdays or coffee fueled by 6 a.m. Ugh,
Then I would love to be able to sleep in on Saturday. What's that like?
yeah. Same.
You don't sleep in with a 3-year-old. Mommy, your eyes are still closed. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I just remember one Saturday morning, all the good cartoons in the morning on
Love
Saturday.
it. Yes. That was
Okay.
so fun.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us today. We hope these stories connected with you and reminded you that while every journey is unique, none of them are meant to be walked alone. What looks like a beautiful life on the outside is often built from the struggles we've survived and the reflections we've had the courage to face. As you head back into your day, carry that perspective with you. Choose to be a little kinder, a little more patient, and a lot more understanding of those around you. Sometimes the smallest gesture of grace can feel like the biggest world of difference to the person receiving it. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down, and now it's already time to get back up again.
Story of our lives. But before we head back into the chaos, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out. We're all just doing our best, one cup of coffee and one deep breath at a time.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break, because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.
Next week, we're diving into celebrity parenting.
It's going to be a good one, so get comfy because by the time you finally sit down, we'll be right here with you.